Hello, friends. It's 12:12 Central Time and time for Awareness Moments with Kyra. And I'm honored to be here with you today and for us to take a look at what it means to be so established in our awareness and a willingness to know that in the field of awareness and in our willingness to hold, whether we call it awareness or we call it presence, that whatever that is in us that is calling us into this expansive inner experience, it's an inner experience to know ourselves beyond the world of form, to beyond the world of illusion. We begin to know ourselves as this greater I am, this greater presence. And as we do this, we become able to open ourselves and experience a different way of being in terms of being neutral to the experiences that are coming into our field. We are able to notice where there is any resistance energy within us. During this time, there are so many waves of energy that are bombarding us right now. The waves of our own feelings and emotions, but also the waves of energy of the world right now are especially those that I've grown up as a highly sensitive person and an empath. So I feel deeply into things and I experience those energies very powerfully. And I had to work hard to make sense of that. And so for us, as we let go of the places where we've held an idea that we are not awareness, idea that we are simply in form, but instead begin to go into that inner experience and allow presence or awareness to be the essence from which we operate, then we begin to notice the places where we have resistance. And where resistance comes in, we often end up with an agenda around that emotion. We like that emotion, we don't like that emotion. We have ways where we begin to have that resistance energy, and we've been taught most our lives to not feel what we don't want to feel, only feel the good feelings and not allow any other feelings in. And the truth is, emotions or feelings are neutral. When we give them energy, by resisting them, by labeling them, by requiring ourselves not to have them, and we expend a lot of energy keeping those various waves of energy that are internal and those that are coming through are places where we start to notice that we don't want to allow certain feelings. We want to step away. And the great gift of awareness is we learn to be neutral. When from a field of awareness, we trust that every experience, every emotion, every feeling that comes forth. Now, I'm not talking about the thoughts that perpetuate an experience, but actually moving beyond the thoughts, the mind, and instead opening to awareness itself and to knowing I am a vessel for awareness. I am a field of awareness. And the more I establish that truth of myself as a field of awareness, the more I am going to notice the different levels of emotions and feelings that are coming through. And then I get to distinguish or create a distinction between the different feelings that I have. Years ago when I was in Landmark Forum, I remember understanding suddenly the distinction between where I had an emotion or a feeling and I had it braided with an idea about it or a resistance to it. And so suddenly to unbraid it and allow it to be just the experience that it was gave me an inner freedom. The inner freedom of knowing that I am so much more than this experience or this feeling or this emotion, so I don't need to resist it. I allow it, and it actually, after a certain level of allowing, it neutralizes. It neutralizes and no longer has that same energy attached to it. I can see it as a feeling, but I don't have to resist it any more than I do a good feeling that I want to experience. So when I open myself to the awareness that I'm here to be awareness, to honor the awareness that I am, I'm here to allow myself to expand, presencing myself. We often look for someone else to bring us that presence that helps us know, that we can experience each other. And during these times, it's interesting because we're learning what is it to presence myself, to be aware and experience that field of awareness that says, I know who I am, that is untouchable by any feeling. I don't need to resist anything that is, because there's a part of me that is this divine essence, if you want to call it that, this awareness field. And in that journey of becoming more and more attuned to that expansiveness that is available within me, the less I am pummeled by the various experiences, pummeled or tumulted. I'm combining words there. Pummeled by those experiences. So if I choose instead presence and awareness and knowing who I am, so when something shows up in my field, there's no resistance to it. It can flow through. It can get neutralized in that field of awareness that I hold. In that consciousness, in that conscious communion with this infinite side of my nature, then all of a sudden I can allow every experience without putting a charge into it. Or I can release the charge that was in it as I began to feel it. Now, in these times, it's especially important that we notice, where do I have resistance that's charged and no longer giving me the ability to be neutral and live from the truth of who I am, this greater self, whether we call it the I am consciousness or the infinite self or the awareness field. Any way that we choose to open ourselves and experience in that greater I am, then all of a sudden we have the ability to flow through life. We ride the waves of experience like we're surfing. We are able to allow those experiences. Sometimes those waves are moving gently, and sometimes they truly are lifting us into a huge push. And yet it takes us not having resistance to allow it to flow through. So I want to just invite you to just notice where your resistance is to your own feelings in this day, in this moment. To notice where you have resistance to the what is. I love Byron Katie's work on loving what is, of allowing ourselves to just acknowledge and be with whatever is in the moment, and it no longer has this same kind of energetic push. And we're looking to free ourselves at this time, and freedom is knowing who you truly are. Freedom is knowing the truth of your being and being able to stay in alignment, not denying feelings and pushing them away, but allowing them to wave through, and that they are as neutral as you just being in touch with Mother Earth. And there is a neutral feeling of standing upon Mother Earth. Well, what if that kind of neutrality is within each one of us when we allow those experiences to pass through? To come to our field of awareness, and our field of awareness is never touched by those other experiences out here. It is solid, it is steady, it is a presence that presences everything that I am and everything I do. And as a result, it begins to presence the very mind that's doing what it does out here. But I'm not that mind. I am not those feelings and emotions. And it's especially important as these waves of feelings are coming through the collective at this time. Some of you, I know who you are out there. You guys are amazing light workers on this planet. There's Julie out here, Julie Fields and Mike Brentari and Darius Lux and Judy Banyai and Shams and Hattie and Regina. I'm looking at who's on my list here showing up. Thank you for waving at me, letting me know you're here. And what I know, and the others, the many others that will touch into this particular video, What I know is you are those who are experiencing and expressing and allowing these waves of energy to come through and be neutralized. You're participating in the movement of this for the entire planet, for the consciousness of humanity. And so I thank you because your ability to be a master in allowing yourself to expand your field of awareness, to live from within that awareness and presence yourself and presence whatever shows up, is a great gift to humanity. It's a great gift of learning inner freedom, and so that we become a presence for that for others. The freedom of not being buffeted by those winds, but allowing, if we're in that, have that tumulted by the wave, we let ourselves be there, but it doesn't then decide who I am, because who I am is a field of awareness. Who you are is a field of awareness, is a divine blueprint of life and light and love. And whether you feel anything in a moment doesn't change who you are. So I'm grateful for those of you that are releasing resistance, that are opening yourselves to this greater I am, this greater awareness field, and allowing this universal consciousness to be neutralized. The fears of others, the doubts, and it begins with our own, but then it's also the whole field, is that what we're doing is neutralizing those energies so that they no longer can be actually working and creating even greater resistance out in the field, because we're helping neutralize and free those energies so they no longer have to have the same kind of strength. And I honor and allow the work that you're doing to be that field of neutrality and allowing it to be what it is. And when we release that resistance, sweet, sweet inner freedom. That's what I wish for each of you. Yay. God bless you, and may you continue to reach out, express what you have to share, and let me know you're here. Hi, Rhonda and Tom and Hattie, thank you for your response. And I am so grateful to each of you for being a presence, for presencing life right now. That's one of the greatest gifts we can give back. Without any resistance, we presence life because we know who we are. Thank you, friends. Love you. Bless you. Have a fabulous, fabulous day.